Hello everybody, and in this video I'm going to go over my process for drawing the face. Now again, just remember this is how I like to draw the face. And with that being said, like the face is one of the most difficult parts of the human body to draw because you have a whole lot of information going on in one place, and there's a whole lot of tiny details that you have to sort of kind of address. So just remember some of these measurements that I go over, some of these shapes, they're just generalized uh, features or generalized set of rules. You can always adjust and change some of these shapes and features. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with the measurements. Alright, so let's get started with the measurements for the face. So just remember I base everything off of my measurements for the chest area. And I just have a circle and I divide the circle up into 3 equal parts. As you can see right here, these are my 3 equal parts. And also with the face, or when I'm drawing the head area, sort of kind of 2 of these 3 equal parts will be the actual head, and then the other part will be a little overlap between the chest area. And that's only because when I'm drawing the neck, I like to think that your neck is connecting the head to the chest, and that's why it's important that those 2 areas kind of and they do kind of overlap each other a little bit. Because sometimes, like, I don't know, I used to have a real hard time drawing my heads and neck, connecting my head to the rest of my body. So that's why I sort of kind of have that overlap area right there. All right, so now let's go ahead and get into the measurements. So the first measurement I want to talk about is the brow line. This area right here. So this is a brow line. I'm just gonna mark it with the little ruler right here. I'm just gonna take it off then. Control H. Alright, brow line right there. Next, I'll go ahead and do the chin. Is on this line right here. So this line is the chin. Then I'm going to find the center of the face. Or you can do it too another way. You can also split the circle, the same circle right here, into 3 equal parts vertically. So basically the same thing I did over here, like splitting in 3 equal parts. Just going to do that vertically. So you're just going to come down here, say right here should be one line, and then here should be the other line. So basically just going, 3 equal parts vertically. Now that you've done that, you can find the center line. So basically what I'm doing is, think about it as me carving a face out of a big circular block or something. Alright, so now that I got the center line, now we're going to start with some of the facial feature measurements. Keeping with the vertical measurements, this line, this area right here, I'm going to split this into halves. So half the distance between these two, I'm going to mark this should be the center of my eyes. Right? So again, half the distance between this area and this area, you should get the eyes, or the center of the eyes. Now that that's done, halfway between the center of the eye right here, and the center of the face, I'm going to try to mark my nose. Again, same thing on the other side. Center of the face and center of the eye, halfway between those, should be where my nose should be. Again, everybody has different features, but these are just markers for me to help me place these features on a face. All right. Oh, and also one more thing. This area also right here that marks the center of the eyes should also kind of line up with the edge of the mouth. Alright, so now that I got most of my vertical measurements, I'm going to go back to the horizontal measurements. Alright, so for my first horizontal measurement, I'm going to measure out halfway distance between the brow line and the chin, and this is where you get your nose. That's where your nose should end, right? Halfway between where the nose ends and where the eyebrow is. So eyebrow and nose. This should be where your eyes should end. Right? So the next one I'm gonna go is halfway between where the nose ends. Halfway between where the nose ends, this one right here, and where the chin, halfway between those should be about where the mouth should be. And again, just remember, everyone has different features. You don't have to line it up correctly. This is just like, again, another marker for where you want to place your features. And then the last one is the hairline. Well, not the last one. There's still one more. So between where the brow area and the end of the head, this area right here, halfway in between there, you should see where your hairline should be. Right? And after you find, again, with the hairline, older people tend to the hairlines tend to be a little bit further up on the head, just because sometimes when you get older, you start to lose some of your hair. So yeah, that will come into play a little bit. And the last measurements for the face should be the ears. And the ears are easy because they just line up where your brow is and where your nose is. So they're the same distance. And then that should be everything for the measurements for the actual face. Yeah, that should be it. Alright, so now I'm gonna go over the side view of the face. So for the side view of the face, most of your measurements are gonna be the same. The eyes, the nose, the mouth, all those gonna follow the same line. The only difference is like this portion right here, where you split, so I kind of split the circle up into like two equal pieces. This will no longer be the center of the face. This will actually be where your ear will go and where your jaw line will sort of kind of follow. And then I would say halfway between this distance, it's kind of where the back of the head will be. And then halfway over here, it's like sort of kind of where your face will sort of kind of drop off. Or your facial features will sort of kind of line up on this line right here. So yeah, the horizontal measurements kind of stay the same, is that the vertical measurements sort of kind of change. And just keep these two measurements in mind when you're trying to do like the face turning away like at a 3/4 angle. Okay, so now for the shapes that I like to use for the head. So for the skull, I like to imagine this shape right here. It's like it's a mix between a circle and a square. So it starts off as a circle like right here, and then it sort of kind of gets a little bit straight, and then it ends in like a little circle. All right, so this is just like if you're looking down on that skull, and this is like if you're looking at it. Well, this is like a side, like a alternate view of it. Shape I like to use. And so the circle is like the front plane of the face. Well, the front and back are like circles, and then the middle side area is going to be like the square area. All right. All right. So those are the shapes for the skull. All right. So now it's time to go over the shapes that I like to use for the facial features. So I'm going to start off with the nose because I think the nose is like the easiest one to explain for me. So for the nose, I like to start off with this shape right here, like a little rectangle. Then at the end of the rectangle, just draw like a little circle. So these are supposed to be your nostrils right here. This area right here is your nostril, and this is the bridge of the nose right here. And depending on what type of nose you have, sort of kind of mark off where the nostrils sort of kind of recede in space a little bit. And so after I got that, I'm gonna just go ahead and draw it out. Get that on a new layer. And see, like when I do it, I just think about carving out the space a little bit. And sometimes you don't really have to draw like this portion of the nose, because sometimes you'll make your character look a little bit older than you want. So really bulb his nose too. But yeah, that's it for the nose. Like I said, nose is like the simplest part. And also if you're doing it, and like I'll just go ahead and show you like a side view of the nose. So if side view, just remember nose comes out a little bit. And the same thing, just go ahead and so kind of get the circle part, and then you can just draw it in details. And then right here will be your nostrils. So those are the general shapes for the nose. Next, I'm gonna go over the eyeballs, I guess. So for the eyes, I normally do it in a diamond shape first, and that's your eye socket. Then next, after I got the socket, go ahead and work the eyeball in. Then after that, I start kind of figure out where your eyes are looking. So focusing on this line right here, these 2 points. So I kind of draw like an imaginary line of where your eyes are looking. So if your eyes are looking towards this way, just draw like an imaginary line looking towards here, and then find the center. Then that's where your eyeballs should sort of kind of be in space. And just remember, not your eyeballs, but your pupil and your iris. So your pupil and your iris are attached to the white part of your eyeball. And just remember, it's like a circle on a circle. So the circle should like skew a little bit when it's looking in, or when it's turning into space. So just keep that in mind. And if it's looking straight ahead, it'll just be like this. So once you got your iris and your pupil all situated, then you can go ahead and add on the eyelids. So another thing to remember about your eye sort of kind of comes out a bit like this, and then your eyelids sort of kind of wrap around your eye like this. Just make sure you're like, when you're drawing it, you're thinking about your eyes that way, and it's not like a flat surface. So now that I'm ready to draw everything on it, let's say your tear ducts are over here on this side. Again, I start out at the center point right here, like this point. Then I go up. Again, try to wrap it around the ball shape. When I come to this point, then I sort of kind of wrap it down. And same thing with the bottom portion. Wrap it down. Then when I get to this center portion, go up with it. And also just remember you have like folds on your eye. And some people, their eyes, they have like actual folds that are like hiding their tear ducts. So sometimes you have eyes that are like this, where it may appear to be starting off at a lower angle. And also the eyebrows. So the eyebrows are, again, like another fleshy part of the eyes. So they move a lot depending on the expression that you want to portray. So sometimes if your muscles are pulling down on your eyebrow, you sort of kind of get the angry eye. And if your muscles are pulling up, sort of kind of will look like up like this, more surprised. But yeah, that should be it for the eyes. Oh, and also one more thing. Just don't. Sometimes you do have like wrinkles right here. If you want to show someone's a little bit older. And that's why I like drawing the eyeball shape right here, because it helps me try to understand what's going on with the eye. So next we have the mouth. And for the mouth, I like to use, well, first I draw like a little, say, square shape. And then I split it up. And then I can go from the edge, sort of kind of go down a little bit. So you can see how it already looks like a mouth. And then from there, I like to find like the little center line. So with the mouth, just remember, probably gonna have to do multiples of these. Just remember when you're opening your mouth or when you move your lips, so it kind of move like in their like own direction. Like your actual teeth say the same, but it's your lips that like move a little bit, and they can move in like a variety of directions. So I'm just gonna go over the standard placement first. Again, this is like the standard of a lip, like just that line right there. It's pretty simple. But when it gets complicated is when your mouth opens and people start to talk. So sometimes this point right here can move in a little bit. So let's say if I want to take this point in a bit, and then your teeth will be showing because your upper jaw doesn't move that much. It doesn't move that much. But when your lips are like pulled up a little bit, you still kind of reveal your teeth. And your lower jaw is the one that moves a lot. So sometimes it could sort of kind of curve down like this. All right. And again, the reason why I find this center point is like the same thing that I did with the eye. Like I go down when I get to this point right here. So I kind of go back up. All right. And that's it for the mouth. Yep, that should be it for the basic shapes for the face. Facial features. Again, I didn't really go into great detail about some of these things. This is just like a quick run through of the facial features, or at least what I do for the facial features. Okay, so now I'm starting two faces. I'm gonna draw, but they're gonna be like more speed drawings. And one thing I want to mention is the side portions of the face. I didn't cover like the face turning in space too much because I think that would be a little too much. But just try to remember that the measurements, the horizontal measurements will change a little bit. Well, the horizontal and vertical measurements will change a little bit depending on how the face is turned. And another thing I want to mention is the distance between the neck, your neck in general will the size, the length of your neck will kind of change a little bit, and it varies from person to person. People who are normally taller will normally have like very long necks. People who are shorter will tend to have very short necks. People who are very lean tend to have like longer necks as well, and people who are very muscular tend to have like less neck showing. So just keep those things in mind when you are drawing the human body or in drawing faces, because that's one of the things that I've been noticing. And also, if your face looks a little off, don't be afraid to tweak some of the features, and just always go back to like the standard rules when you're drawing the face, just to check everything and make sure everything's correct. So that should be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.